Hey friends, it's Neil here from Post to Post. Thanks for joining me today. Sidney Crosby scored 500 recently, just the other night, and that's such a huge accomplishment. I think there's less than 50 people total, or NHL players in the history, who have scored above 500. So it's a pretty big accomplishment, and it's a big deal. Like, it really is a big deal. He's a future Hall of Famer, no questions asked. He's going straight into the Hall of Fame basically as soon as he retires, I'm sure. But the Pittsburgh Penguins released a bit of an interesting graphic, and it showed all of his goals against all of the teams and broke it down by a graph. I've got it up here next to you. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here right away so we can go through this. And I just thought this was an incredible graphic because it really showcases some teams that he has great success against and some teams that he really doesn't. So, I mean, Philadelphia is off the charts here. Massive rivalry between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers. They've met plenty in the playoffs. So 50 of his goals scored of the 500 have been against Philadelphia. The Islanders next with 39. The Devils with 38. Rangers with 36. But here's where I find things get super interesting. Philadelphia, Metro. Islanders, Metro. Devils, Metro. Rangers, Metro. Toronto, Atlantic. Okay. Washington, Metro. Now we're back. Florida, Atlantic. Buffalo, Atlantic. Montreal, Atlantic. Tampa, Atlantic. Ottawa, Atlantic. Winnipeg Central, Boston, Atlantic. And then we get to Carolina, Metro. And then Calgary in the West. And then back to Columbus with 12 in the Metro. Pittsburgh plays Columbus a lot. Pittsburgh plays Carolina a lot. They're in the same division, and they have been for a while. So it's remarkable that Crosby has such success against other teams in the division, like the Islanders and Philadelphia and the Devils and the Rangers, but not against other certain teams in the division, like Columbus and like Carolina. I just thought that was a really interesting thing to see. He's only scored 12 goals against Columbus. He has scored more goals against some teams in the Pacific Division, Calgary, who he plays twice a year, than Columbus, who he potentially plays 4, 5, 6 times a year. So, like, that's remarkable. Now for some teams he really struggles against. Like, okay, I'm not really going to count Seattle, and I'm not going to count Vegas. They've only existed for a microsecond in his career. But the San Jose Sharks, like, the Sharks have been around since the early 90s, well before Crosby joined the league. He's played them as much as he would have played Calgary. And then he's only scored 3. Same with Chicago, and then in Nashville and Edmonton. So it's just really interesting to see his progression, I guess, of goals against certain teams. Now, some of this is around injuries. There has been long periods where he's been out of the lineup due to concussion or whatever, and during that time, the team's gone on those road trips to those teams, and maybe he wasn't involved in those games. So there's some things behind the scenes here that are working in the favor of this graph for those bottom teams like Chicago, San Jose, and Nashville. But the other teams, like, it's just such an interesting graph. If you like statistics and if you like graphs, this is an amazing piece of graphic here. So I really have to applaud the Pittsburgh organization for having this ready to go for the night they already scored 500. I'm so happy that they put it up on Instagram, yeah, I guess it was Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Just, round of applause to the Pittsburgh organization for doing this, because it's so cool to see this, regardless if you're a Pittsburgh fan. I'm not a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I'm not a Crosby fan either. But I'm a stats fan, and I'm a graphs fan, so I really appreciated them putting this out. So just a quick video for today. Congratulations to Crosby for hitting 500 goals. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you're new, please consider hitting the subscribe button. If you did like this video, if you like graphs and you like stats, hit the like button if you're with me, and I'll catch you guys in a future video. Adios.